And now for the theme tune.
Ba 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 ba.
Forget about a theme tune! Welcome to the Marmite Queens podcast. We are the rulers you either love or hate, and each week we will be setting the world to rights. Then, from a randomly generated word, we will be finding strange stories to tell each other, all while having a giggle and not needing alcohol to bring our special brand of madness directly to your ears. Full disclaimer, there will be not for safe work content and probably a strong view or two expressed. So, settle in, enjoy the car crashing into the dumpster fire. That is Sam and Laura. All right, mate.
All right, mate.
Oh, hang on. Before we continue.
Got a party crasher.
Yeah, we do. So this is the first for us. We've got a guest joining us. You've heard of him. You've heard of us talking about him before because we'll just pretty much fucking constantly talking about him. So
Thanks, girls.
Yeah, podcast royalty. Get it? Royalty because
Yeah.
He is a writer extraordinaire. His beard is the stuff of legends. His whiskey monk wisdom will change your goddamn lives. His zombie survival techniques are questionable. It is the man, the myth, the legend. It's John motherfucking Crinan. Hello, John!
Whoa, hello. Thank you so much for that intro. Oh, you covered all the important things. I'd forgotten about the zombie apocalypse plan. I'd forgotten about Whiskey Monk.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all things that, well, the zombie apocalypse plan went out publicly, I guess, on Great Writer Share, but Whiskey Monk is entirely contained to DMs, so no one's going to get that reference, but I appreciate it.
You know, feel free to enlighten the masses or not. That's your choice, but I have put it out there now.
You have, yeah. I will begin to kind of pepper it out a little bit, but let's not jump straight into Whiskey Monk wisdom.
No, you don't want to jump the shark.
Yeah, you can't. It's too early in the morning, and I'm still on my coffee. So, and thank you for all the shout outs as well that I get on this podcast. It always gives me the warm fuzzies when I'm listening and I hear my name. So thank you very much. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of you both.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
I think you've been mentioned in every episode so far. I mean, we've only done 5 episodes, but still.
Yeah, but that's still 5 mentions. Probably more than once in some episodes. I don't know.
This is a lot of pressure to live up to.
Yeah, it is. And I'm gonna pile on the pressure as the episode goes on. Just see if you can do it. Right, let's move straight along because I'm not gonna lie, editing last week's podcast was a thing of nightmares. So I'm going to be keeping this on a fucking tight schedule today, Kendrick. I'm probably not. Tell me, babe, how's your week been? This is directed to Laura. I've just realised there's 2 of you. How's your week been, Laura?
It's all right. That's it. There you go. Done.
Oh, wow. Okay, I instantly regret my decision of telling you to keep it to a schedule.
No, it was really good. It was really good until Wednesday when and then I got told I had to go and work to do the stuff that I have to do when I go and work once every like 2-3 weeks. And I was just like, for God's sakes. And then I went in and work were like, oh, if you help us out with this, we'll get you a taxi home. So I was like, great, I don't have to get on the tram home and I get to finish early.
Yes.
And then I got a migraine in the taxi on the way back.
No.
Because apparently traveling with a mask on, because I haven't traveled with a mask on in a taxi like at all while we've been in the pandemic. The only traveling that I've done has been either in my mum's car or it's been on the tram to work. And something about having a mask on in the back of that car, I mean, I get travel sick anyway, but it just sent me right over the edge. And I was just like, I'm gonna have to ask him to pull over in a minute and be like, I don't have corona, I'm sorry, I'm just travel sick.
At least you didn't vomit into your mask because that would have been horrendously funny for the podcast, but just horrendous for you.
Yeah, no. I was all right. They dropped me off and it was fine, but I just then collapsed onto the sofa and was like, I can't move. I can't do any of the stuff that I wanted to do.
Oh.
And then it was the rest of the week. It's fine. I mean, it's only Saturday. It might go downhill from here.
That's true. That is true.
Who knows?
What about you, John? How's your week been, sir?
I've had a good week, actually. Just on the subject of masks as well, having to wear masks for an extended period of time, I get really bad, like, mask beard. It's a problem that you guys will never have to deal with. But it's so problematic. that, like, you know, if you're wandering around for a long time, it puts this weird, because the mask kind of, you know, my beard is quite long.
Yeah, it is.
And it puts this weird kink right through my beard that as soon as I take it off, I just look completely ridiculous. And it gets really... yeah, I guess it does. Yeah. So it's and like, you know, if you've got a decent kind of mustache, which I do, it all gets rustled up underneath that mask if you're talking to someone. I really should just shave, but I'm not going to. I refuse.
Yeah.
So
I think the world would weep if you shaved. That beard.
I definitely won't be a fan anymore. But like, nah, see you later, mate.
Well, there you go. If it means that I'm going to risk getting my shout outs on this podcast, no way am I risking that. So yeah, the week's good. I've been in pretty good trim this week, and I mean, I've just been working. I haven't done anything at all exciting.
Yeah. Who has?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've really left the house this week, honestly. So, but I've been doing my workouts and eating lots of steaks, as you know that I like to do, and that's been my week.
Nice. Well, I've not really had... I was supposed to have like a week where I read and stuff, intaking, and basically I haven't done that. I don't know why. Like, it's weird because... So, like, me and Laura, we have a little accountability thing on Sundays. We check in with each other, see what we was going to do for the week, all that kind of stuff. And I was really excited this week because I was like, the only thing on my list is to do the stuff that I normally enjoy doing but don't have time for. And my brain has just been like, no, I'm not going to. I don't want to. So it's been a bit of a weird one for me. I mean, I feel like I'm still editing last week's podcast. I'm not going to lie. Like,
that was my fault entirely.
No, it wasn't, mate. It was not your, like, it was.
And it was. I was very cunty on that podcast, to be fair.
It was equal shit posting, vocal shit posting of equal measure. Sorry, the dog is stretching out. But yeah, so my week's been a bit, I don't know. Just, I mean, it happened. That's what I can say about my week.
Are these unedited podcasts ever going to see the light of day? Is this going to be like Patreon content one day or something like that?
Well, I went through and I mined the stuff that was like, oh, it's a shame that we can't keep that in, but this podcast is currently longer than War and Peace, and pop them on our Instagram stories as like little outtakes. But I mean, most of the stuff that I edited out was just Laura loving Kirk, sweaty Kirk face, or me just being like yeah, which is how I talk anyway. So yeah, I mean,
oh yeah, can I just say, because you called me out and should have been Star Trek badge revoked.
I totally did call you out in your filter.
Right, if you're listening to this podcast, like, I don't know, 10 years down the line when we're really famous, and you're like, Spock is Spock and Kirk, not Spock and McCoy. I know that. I just slipped up because my brain doesn't work properly.
Because she wants to be bones by bones.
I mean,
bones.
Yeah, that too. That as well.
Oh God, the dog. Right, babes, let's move it on. Let's choo-choo the train down the track. Tell me, actually, I'm going to go to John first because I saw that he was taking a sip of coffee and I thought he looks way too relaxed. So, John,
let's do it.
Tell me, what is something you have loved this week? Please and thank you, sir.
Okay, so this week, I was sitting the other day, and I am a big like TV film fan. I generally watch a lot of movies, I watch a lot of TV, but I was sitting and I have a Letterboxd account. I don't know if anyone uses Letterboxd. It's like Goodreads for film logging, basically. You like log what films you've watched and you rate them and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
And for some reason I was logged in and I was looking at it and I realized I'd only logged 3 movies in 2021, which I thought was crazy for me. I just haven't watched anything. So I've really picked up my film and TV watching over the last few weeks because, well, kind of similar to you, Sam, talking about wanting to kind of fill the well again, you know, just have input. I kind of need to do that too, because I've just been putting stuff out and not refilling. So this particular thing isn't a film, but it's a TV show. And it was recommended to me by my friend, another podcaster, Luke Condor of the Other Stories of Horror Hangout. He recommended this show called Primal. He actually recommended it to me, I think, on an episode of A Nice Chianti, which is a little shout out for my podcast, which I wasn't intending to do, but there you go. That's where it happened. Yeah, and it's this show called Primal. It's an animated show. It's by the guy's name, I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong. Genndy Tartakovsky. I think he did like Samurai Jack and stuff like that, like nice. Dexter's Laboratory. He is famous for those animated shows. This is very much like an adult animated show, and it's about a caveman and a dinosaur and their adventures together, essentially. And it is so amazing. It's completely, there's absolutely zero dialogue in it. So it's kind of essentially silent dialogue-wise. It's fully animated, obviously. It's so hyper-violent. It's amazing. And it is, I just reached, like last night or the night before, the last episode I watched was episode 5 or 6 out of 10. And it's just, I don't know if you've ever, I don't want to spoil anything, but it just dialed everything up to 11. Like, it was brilliant from the start. And then in this episode, it just goes bananas. And it's so violent and so amazing. Yeah, I can't really say too much about it other than I really feel like everyone should kind of watch this show, because it's one of the best shows I've watched in such a long time. Nice. So it's going to be Genndy Tartakovsky's Primal. It's fantastic.
Very good. Like, I don't like dinosaurs and I'm not a horror fan, but put it all in cartoon and I'm there.
It's so
like,
good.
That sounds like fun. Laura, darling, did I just hear your eyes roll at me?
Yeah, the dinosaur thing. I can't believe you don't like dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are so cool.
I am terrified of dinosaurs, all right? I was taken to see Jurassic Park too young. Okay. I also.
Did we all see Jurassic Park too young?
Well, are you all me? No. Okay. I will never get over that man being eaten on the toilet. Okay. And that cute little dinosaur that's in there, he's like, and just spraying fucking no, thank you. So you can walk those eyes rolls all the way back into your face and tell me something that you enjoyed this week, if you don't mind, while I just recover from the betrayal that was your face at my genuine fear of dinosaurs.
So one thing I've enjoyed this week is dinosaurs. No. So one thing I have enjoyed this week is listening to your good friends, John, on the Horror Hangout, because you've not released any more Nice Chianti. So
get on it, John.
Can't listen to it, can I? So I've had to make do.
I've got 2 episodes sitting unreleased as well. 2 full episodes that are just there. And we haven't put them out.
What's wrong with you? Jesus Christ. Look at her. She's going to absolutely lamp you. It's good job there is a lockdown going on, because she'd find you.
But you know what can't come through the computer?
Yeah. Yeah, she can't do that.
No, I have been listening to Horror Hangout, and I mean, I'm not like the biggest horror fan in the world. I do like, I like old stuff and I like cheesy stuff. I like old stuff like The Howling, and I like really cheesy stuff, like Final Destination and stuff like that. And I don't know. I started listening to it and then I stopped, and then I listened to Nice Chianti on there with the quiz that they do every year. And then this week and last week, I think I listened to the few that have been out since then. And it is just, I've been absolutely crying with laughter at them, because those guys are so funny. And do you know what I think it is as well? I think it's their accents make everything funnier.
What are their accents, if you don't mind? I've not seen Horror Hangouts.
Well, Ben is from Bristol.
Right. Oh, okay. Say no more.
Yeah. And Luke's accent, like, Luke is he originally from Manchester?
Oh,
Or he's
yeah,
lived in
so
Manchester for a while.
I've heard Luke talk. I was about to say extensively, but that sounded so insulting. I've heard Luke talk extensively. No, I've heard him on other podcasts and stuff. Yeah, of course.
He's not originally from I don't know what I would describe Luke's accent as. I should know that because
It's just a bit
a
northern,
pal,
isn't
but-
it?
yeah, it's like
It is just
We're
a bit
very good friends.
northern.
I'm better with the regional like Scottish dialects than I am picking out English ones. So I actually don't know what that accent is. But
Well,
the Bristol one,
You're forgiven, I guess.
yeah.
Being Scottish. I guess we'll forgive you.
Thank you.
But that's the only Scottish card you're allowed to play. All right, you've used it. That's it.
You've used
I'm
it, it's done, it's gone.
I'm going to continue playing the Scottish card forever. It's got me a lot of mileage.
Just like, no, you can't have it. It's still mine. Well, sorry, darling. Had you finished?
Yeah, no, so yeah,
Okay.
I've just been spent
Yeah.
like when I should have been. I mean, I can do my job and listen to podcasts at the same time, so I was listening to them and just howling with laughter because it's that their humour is very my humour.
I'm gonna have to listen to this. The word
I've-
horror put me off.
I've been telling everyone, like I've told my other half, I was like, because we were watching something last night and he made a comment and I was like, this is why I'm telling you to listen to Horror Hangout, because that's the kind of comments they make all the way through the podcast.
No, they are like genuinely such funny guys, and it is genuinely one of my favorite podcasts, the Horror Hangout as well. It's brilliant, and when I was on it, I've been on it a couple of times, and that one that you were talking about, Laura, with Chianti, was just one of the funnest nights I've ever had on a podcast because we got really drunk basically. Me and Zoe, my co-host on Chianti, we always drink when we're recording an episode, which is one of the reasons why we don't put out regular episodes, because I think if we were drinking on a schedule like that, it would get very, very dangerous very, very quickly.
Yeah.
But when we got in, we basically got called out by the Horror Hangout guys because they call out other podcast teams to challenge them for this horror trivia quiz. They call it like their big fat horror quiz or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. And we decided that me and Zoe had to be on brand and we had to turn up completely drunk for it. And then we let that slip, and then Ben found out and he was like, well, I want to get drunk too. So at the end, we just got everyone drunk on the podcast, and it only is supposed to last for an hour. Their episodes are like an hour to 90 minutes. And I think because it was just such a disaster because everyone was so drunk, I think it's like 3 hours long, the episode that we recorded.
Long,
and some of us, I won't name any names, but some of us are so completely guttered by the end of it, like it just falls apart. And it's so funny. I never listened to the podcast that I'm on back, but I actually have listened to that one just because I find some of the other people on it so funny. It was such a laugh that night.
Oh, good God. Yeah. No, I was just thinking about the last time I saw Laura drinking. Laura is the funniest. Oh my God. I mean, yeah, no. To be fair, though, your vocabulary and phrases do shrink so quickly. Yeah, like, because Laura doesn't like drink like I don't know. Say if you go to
I don't
the pub,
drink
like,
like
have
a
a
normal
pint.
person.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't drink like she just has shots of sambuca. So literally after drink one, she's lost to the world. And she just repeats the same things over and over again. So I was just imagining Laura in that situation, and it was giving me great joy.
I would have given the same answer. If somebody would have laughed at an answer, I would have just continually given that answer and over again.
And the answer would have been, because I'm a fucking gift, mate.
I sort of think there's scope maybe to have a whiskey monk and a Sambuca monk or something, like, I don't know. There's like, if there's these quips that Laura has, then maybe there's something
we need
there.
To work on that.
Yeah.
We need to work on that. We could make it like almost like a horoscope bot kind of thing. Just some stock phrases, botting out.
The Sambuca horoscope.
Well, not that anyone's asked me, Laura, about what I've enjoyed this week, but I'll tell you anyway.
You're supposed to be doing all that this week.
No, mate. Actually, I think you'll find if you go back through our library of.
Oh my god.
That's not how this works. I ask you, and then when you've finished, you say, "And how's your week been?" Like a conversation, like people do with other people they care about. I don't know if I mentioned that I fell down the stairs before this episode. So my head's a little bit weird at the minute. But the thing that I enjoyed this week, I am going to give a shout out to, again, another gentleman that we basically I think, we talk about basically every episode, and that is Mr. Daniel Wilcox. I spoke about his book coaching last week, and this week, that's what I want to highlight, talk about, whatever, because I don't know what it is the past couple of weeks, but Wednesdays have been the day where apparently, I've just decided to stop functioning. And I've been looking through some old family photographs, and it brought up some stuff and some memories and some things. And he was just in our session, was just very sweet, very cognizant of that. And also the fact that just in general, my brain doesn't work in the same way that most people's brains work. And it was something I was a bit worried about going into kind of one-on-one coaching, because, not everyone knows how to handle it. But he's the way he has kind of I was going to say adjusted, but it's not even that, because he doesn't have a set formula, because obviously he's working one-on-one with people. But it was just really nice, and it made me feel like it wasn't a big deal. And that is something I wanted to highlight, and that's me being a little bit vulnerable. Now we're gonna move on because I don't like it. Okay, so tell me about the things that you've hated this week. Let's go to you first, Laura. Please tell me what you've hated this week. Go.
Not a lot, actually.
Oh,
genuinely, this week's been quite a good week. I've not actually hated a lot this week, or disliked a lot. Apart from the feeling sick, that was solved with pretty much with a McDonald's. Because, right, I don't know if anybody else has this. I get migraines where the only thing that will stop the migraine is something stodgy, or like a garlic pizza bread or something, and it's the only thing that will stop me feeling sick. Nothing else would do it. It needs to be a freaking French stick or something. I don't know what it is. It's when they're triggered by
You've blown John's mind. I just wanted to bring that up.
I had no idea that McDonald's was medicinal. This is amazing.
Yeah, aspirin comes from tree bark, migraine relief sauce, special sauce.
It worked though, so but yeah, that's the only thing that I've not really liked this week. Apart from the usual things that annoy me, which in general is people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that could be my thing every week, but it would get boring, wouldn't it?
Oh, I'll tell you what else I didn't like this week, but I did it to myself, so it's right. I have a problem, right? So anytime I have something wrong, not medically, but medically, I will try and sort it out myself, right?
What?
Because I'm I don't need to go to a doctor.
But medically.
So anytime I have there's a lump or a bump or something, and it's not really deep beneath the skin, I'm just I'll just fucking slice it out, it's fine. Don't ask me.
Sorry, I'm sorry. What? Did you just confess to giving yourself biopsies?
Yeah, literally will just like.
Oh, so many questions. Do you sterilize the instrument you use?
Yeah.
What instrument do you use? What do you describe as not very deep?
So like, it's not like it's gonna go deep enough that I need stitches. Like that would be a bit too far.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
I probably could do the stitches myself, but that'd be a bit too far. I do sterilize everything, and I have like different kits. So I have like a kit that I bought like after I'd watched Dr. Pimple Popper for like actual spots, and then I have just very sharp scissors and just some very sharp scissors and some very sharp blades. And so yeah, so this week I was
secret sauce for the anesthetic.
Yeah.
I don't need anesthetic. Go on.
Can I just at this point
please don't try this at home.
Another disclaimer, it's not recommended by anyone here to commit surgery on yourself. Also, no one is advocating this behaviour for Laura to do it either. We will be advising her to call a therapist once we finish recording. Thank you. Please continue. Fucking, I can't believe it.
So I had this thing on my neck.
Oh no.
And I was like, it'll be
Next to
fine.
the
Pretty much. That was pretty much where it is. And I was like,
mate.
the thing is though, it'd been fine, and then it had like swollen a little bit, and I was like, oh, it's probably just a bit manky inside, it probably just needs like draining or something. So I just started slicing into it and then kind of cut the top off it, and then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna need to probably put a plaster on that now, because it needs a bit of time. But
I mean, that's not an easy play. Like if it had been on your arm or something where you could, or your thigh or something like that, like at least you can see what you're working with, you can use both hands. Up here is not an easy place to cut into yourself and start.
Like unless you had an intricate set of mirrors, like in what is it?
No, it was just a bathroom mirror, and I was just like,
no. Also,
if I do it there, it'll be fine.
How quickly me and John have both become like, okay, let's think about this. John's like, it's fine as long as it's like an easy to reach place, and I'm like, we need mirrors. From what to how? No, actually, let's think about this. So you've hated the fact that you sliced a part of yourself off this week?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
More so that I didn't get. I've clearly not got it. I've clearly not got whatever it is.
No.
So it needs to
follow
go
up
deeper.
appointment.
Yeah.
It's
needed. Yep. Oh, Jesus Christ. I love it's just the fact that it started off with nothing serious, just lumps. The thing that most people would freak the fuck out over. Oh my God, serious, just like lumps. What? Oh, right, we're going to move on because there is no explanation.
Just come on, it's fine.
Yeah, okay, all right. John, dear, would you like to tell me something you've not liked this week? And please, can it not be that you couldn't fix your own snapped ACL?
Yeah, I mean, I really can't even follow that, to be honest. Mine is pretty boring in comparison. It's also kind of the opposite, because Laura, you were talking about how other people is generally what you dislike about the week. Mine is kind of obvious, but I've had a good week too, as I said at the start. And mine has really, the worst thing about it, and what's really at the forefront of my mind right now is not being able to see people. I'm finding it incredibly difficult. There's certain friends and family who, I just wish I could be there with them, give them a hug right now. It's been very, very apparent this week in a couple of my relationships, and it's just like, that's the only thing. I was kind of trying to think as I was getting ready for this podcast. I generally don't put too much energy focusing on the things that I don't like. I kind of just go, that's off. I don't think about them. Yeah, but that was the only thing I could come up with, and it's maybe kind of a little bit somber following the self-surgery, but.
I mean, we needed to come down off that. Jesus Christ, that was a friggin' ledge. It was getting fucking slippy, mate.
And obviously, I think everyone's kind of in the same boat. I mean, we've been in lockdown now for essentially a year. We've had little breaks from it. I'm not saying I haven't seen anyone for that length of time, and I do have a bubble and stuff like that, which is a lifesaver. But that was the only thing I could think of because, there's just been one or two people that I've been having some calls with, and it's like, I just wish that we were just hanging out. So yeah, it's kind of, it's it's a bit sad, but that's
No, I get that. I do get that because I wanted to go and see I was going to try and take Friday off and go and see. My mum was having dinner with my brother and his wife and the new baby, and I was going to go and, a good kinswoman, I was going to go and try and see them, and just I couldn't because I've been to work and I've been traveling on public transport. I was just I'm not even risking it, at all, and I won't get to see them next week at any point either because I'm also in work next week as well. So I'm just I'm not even risking it because if something happened, I would never ever forgive myself. So
yeah, no, I get that.
So I get they're not wanting to see people.
Yeah,
not being able to.
I just miss cuddles. This
me
is it.
too, John.
Yeah.
I missed them before the pandemic started, but let's pretend that's my reason. Me too. I was getting cuddled left, right, and centre, mate. So many cuddles you wouldn't believe, and now solely because of the pandemic, no cuddles for me.
All those cuddle puddles have dried up.
Cuddle puddles. I don't want to sleep in the cuddle puddle again. Don't make me.
I'd sleep in a cuddle puddle.
My mum did say that she. My mum did say that she missed. She feels like she's not had a cuddle off me in ages, and it upsets her because I give really good cuddles, and I do give really good cuddles. I'm like a bear. Yeah. I give bear hugs. I'm not like.
Child, it will be fine. Yeah, I give good cuddles. I like to. No, I can't.
Say it. Say it.
Oh, you have to say it. I was
literally just about to say I like to experiment with my hands. John, you're going weird and green, dude. You're melting.
I'm going green.
Yeah, is it just on my screen? Okay, yeah. It's fine now. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, on my screen it was like the Matrix just started to come down John's face. Yeah, I like to experiment with my hands while I cuddle, not in a up the duck pond way, in a just just depending on who it is. Obviously, if I've just met you, I'm not going to be I'm just going to stroke your hair now. That's weird.
Well, quite frankly, I can't wait for a cuddle off Sam now.
Yeah, mate.
Oh, what are you going to do with those hands?
I don't know.
Slightly
We'll
nervous.
find out. We'll find out. Nowhere near the duck pond. Nowhere near the duck pond. Things we've hated. I've just realised that I haven't again been asked, but that's fine.
I was just about to ask.
Sam, what did you hate this week?
Talking again.
You know what, John? Thank you.
Do you know what? Go. You can. Right. I'm out. See you later. Bye.
So, the thing I've hated this week is myself. Now, not in a I hate myself way, because that's part of the course. But just my general clumsiness has been pissing me off. I have been doing those stupid, ridiculous, embarrassing things. I was on a call with one of my friends and they made me laugh and I threw my head back laughing and smashed it into the wall because I laughed so hard. I was just like, ha ha ha, bang. I accidentally nutted my window ledge, on the side, to move. I was talking to someone to move my head to the side, and just banged it into the window ledge. I shrugged so hard. I smashed my own cheekbone with my own fucking shoulder. I was like,
wow. Wait, what? Wait.
Yeah, I don't even look. If it made sense, I don't know. And then just prior to coming onto this podcast, I fell down my fucking stairs, didn't I? I fell down my fucking stairs. Yeah. Thankfully, it wasn't like a roly-poly fall. It was like a, ooh, I've slipped slightly and now my stairs have turned into a painful friction slide. And
Oh,
So,
that's
yeah.
when you did you hurt your coccyx, whatever it's called?
Yeah, I did.
Because that's
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
that's the most painful thing that comes out of doing a stair slide like that.
No, the embarrassment's the most painful thing. I've hurt myself enough times now that like physical pain is not the real pain for me.
See, I'm the opposite. I've hurt myself enough times now that the embarrassment doesn't bother me anymore.
Oh no.
When I fall over now, I'm just like, somebody in the street's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just in a bit of pain now."
Right. Well, there we go. That's the things that we have loved and we've hated this week. Now, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to our word of the week. Our word of the week this week is safari. Now, I know, because John's a living legend, as I said in his intro, that he's also done a wee bit of research.
A wee bit.
Do you want to go first, John? Or do you want to sandwich? Or do you want to?
Oh, well, sandwich is the best offer I've had in a long time. Let's go for that.
Okay, Laura, darling, off you pop.
Oh,
Tell us what you think about safaris. That's what you get for creepily being like, yeah, first. That's what you get. That was unacceptable. That was an unacceptable tone towards poor John.
So, do you know what? I went looking for like really weird shit to do with safaris. Like I was like, is there any weird safaris you can go on? Like a safari of, I don't know, people on an island somewhere.
Oh.
A safari of like strange animals, or like a safari under the sea. But we don't say that because Sam doesn't like it. Which is, I didn't find anything.
You're gonna fall out.
But I didn't find anything that weird, right? All I found out is that hippos are dangerous as fuck.
Oh yeah, mate. Don't fuck with a hippo. Like hungry
There
hippos.
So many horror stories about people being like just fucking chomped by a hippo, and like having things broken, and like cars being dragged into freaking swamps by hippos. And I was just like, never going near a hippo ever again.
Yeah.
Like
Ever again?
I mean,
Last time you were near a hippo.
listen, I
Sure,
live
I
a
wasn't.
very exciting life, okay? Hippo safaris are just part of my natural well-being. That's
Fair enough. Well, not anymore.
not anymore.
Self-care Saturdays have just taken a drastic turn.
So yeah, like most of the stuff that I found was like sort of like horror stories about, you know, animals eating people and stuff. And I was a bit disappointed really, because I was like, this is not really that weird, is it? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out if you get too close to an elephant with a baby, it's going to trample you. Like you get too close to cows and they will chase you. That's it.
I think you'll find that I did not get too close to the cows. I made that very, very apparent.
They just didn't like you. One thing I did find out though is that apparently there is a whole cinematic and literary genre called safari, and I didn't know this at all. Like I didn't think this was a thing. I thought they were
short
just
safari stories, because I assumed they were just like little stories for kids, being like, "That's a zebra."
no, like actually, like so. There's loads of films. They're probably all pretty racist now, but there's loads of like old films that are like classed as safari films because they take place. I'm guessing they take. I don't think I've seen any of them that were on the list, but they take place in like Africa, and they've got like must have like sweeping shots of landscape and animals. I wonder if The Lion King would count.
I don't know. There's not a 4x4 in that. Is that a prerequisite? Does it need a
It's a
4x4?
4x4.
Has to be a 4x4.
Well,
Maybe Ace Ventura.
Let's not plug Ace Ventura.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
Yeah, it's fine up until you realise that it's not so fine. Anyway, moving along from that. All right, John, give us your delicious filling.
Well, I just think it's interesting, first of all, before I give you the filling. Sorry.
No.
Leave that in if you want.
On purpose. Go on.
Leave that in. Is you mentioning let's just gloss over that. You mentioning hippos, because you're the second person this week to talk about how dangerous hippos are to me, which I think is really interesting. And also hippos come up a few times because I did a podcast ages ago, another podcast just to shout out called Strong Language, Violent Scenes, and I was speaking about, because I'm a big fan of movies, as I've already said. I was on that show talking about a movie called Congo. Just to bring this back, we were already talking about Jurassic Park. Congo was like a sort of Jurassic Park cash-in. It was another Michael Crichton book, and everyone thought that it was going to be a big success because it was, about like killer gorillas, and everyone thought it was going to be another Jurassic Park, and it just bombed. But I've got this deep love for it. Anyway, it's got a hippo in it, so we were talking about hippos, and one of the hosts of that podcast did a hippo facts thing. So I kind of knew they were dangerous because there's a hippo attack, but also, did you know that hippos sweat their own sunscreen, which I think is really interesting.
No, did not know that.
There's a whole bunch of these things. Anyway,
for that.
I don't know why, but yeah, someone else in a private conversation, someone else was talking about how dangerous hippos was to me this week. So maybe that's a sign. Maybe the universe is telling me something, that maybe I am going to get attacked by a hippo, or something's going to happen.
But now, when you see that cute, like 12-ton fucking randomly strolling down the streets of London, you'll be like, do you know what?
Yeah,
I'll pass.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get done like James's mum and dad from James and the Giant Peach. I'm going to keep going.
Fuck this noise. I'm going to stay where I am.
But yeah, I think Congo is probably actually maybe considered a modern or a 90s safari movie, Laura. It might fit the bill.
Maybe.
It's got that adventurous thing. But I wasn't sure. I actually have two stories because I wasn't 100% sure. And I did the same, Laura, as you. I was trying to find weird human safaris or something like that, and I didn't, and there was a couple of things. There is a few news stories about weird sort of uncontacted tribe tourism and stuff like that, which is really ethically really problematic, like people paying to go meet those tribes that have never had any outside world contact. But anyway, that's not what my thing is about. The weirdest fact, the one that stuck out in my head, it's not really a story, it's a fact, is that big cats are really attracted to Calvin Klein's obsession. This is what I learned. So we actually... So this was on Reddit. I found this on Reddit, and it was basically if you ever go on a safari, do not wear Calvin Klein's obsession, because researchers and conservationists, they actually use that scent to attract big cats out of wherever they're hiding, so that they can better count their population numbers and stuff. Basically, this scent, big cats absolutely love. So that fact, I loved that fact. I was thinking about the poor guy who first discovered it. And what must be going on for him, and I thought it was just related enough to safari that it would fit in. So yeah, that's one of the facts that I found.
That's an entirely different kind of advert. Sorry, I'm just imagining Calvin Klein rebranding the advert with that in mind. That's a very different advert. Sorry to interrupt you, John. Please continue.
No, please do. Yeah, I mean, it's not really, it doesn't have a punchline. It's just, that's interesting. So if you're ever going to be somewhere, we can actually help your listeners in the system. If you're ever going to be somewhere where there are going to be big cats, and by that I mean dangerous, man-eating animals, don't
Under any
Calvin Klein's obsession. Yeah, because you're in for a bad trip if that happens, basically.
Yeah. Or your last trip.
That's your last safari.
Yeah.
I'm just laughing at you saying about them rebranding, because the first thought that popped into my head was, would you like to attract some big pussy?
Oh, do you know what? That the ultimate clickbait.
That would totally be that would be a great marketing slogan, and it's completely accurate as well.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't get. There's no false advertising there.
No. No. Oh yeah, it's genius.
The other thing that I found, which isn't really a story, but it's like a film recommendation, because I haven't talked about movies enough. But I think it really fits. As I was thinking about stuff that I associated with safari, I remembered this movie that I watched for the first time, like just last year. It's a movie called Roar, R-O-A-R, and I kind of think it's this fascinating artifact of a time gone by. Basically, it's got the tagline nowadays, the most dangerous movie ever made, right? And this guy, back in, I think it took around like 11 years to make. It was a long time in production, this movie, because this guy, who I believe was he was in the movie business. I think he was an investor on Friedkin's The Exorcist. He was traveling in Africa. I don't know if it was a vacation or something like that. And he came across this house that had been abandoned and had been taken over by a pride of like lions. And he got this idea for a movie. And I don't know all the details. I think the production of this film is really interesting, and I want to dig into it a bit more. But the film itself is like I say, fascinating. He basically spent a bunch of years, as I understand it, rescuing big cats and training them to be like film performers, in the same way that we see, going back to Ace Ventura, that he who shall not be named. But there are animals that get used in shooting films.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to make this movie set in Africa about a bunch of big cats. I don't know exactly what his original story idea was, but let's assume it was close to what we saw in the final film. It's basically about this guy who is living in the middle of the jungle with big cats in his house. They live in his house with him. And it was originally just supposed to be, as I understand it, just a few cats, just like, 5 or 6. Yes. But this guy, his ambition kept on growing, and he kept on rescuing more and more. And in the end, he has 150 big cats in this house with him in the film. And basically what happens is he couldn't really, as I understand it, he couldn't really convince any actors to appear in it, because there are literally 150 lions and tigers and jaguars and whatever else. So he is the star of the movie, I believe. I believe the director and star. And he also cast his family as well to be in it. So basically this film is just him and his family in this house with 150 really, really dangerous animals. And you're just watching this film. There isn't really much of a plot. There's a slight plot, but I won't go into it. That's not the reason you watch it. You basically watch it just to see this absolute chaos unfold, because every minute of the film, it just feels like someone's going to die, because these cats are literally crawling over them. They're running around. It's absolute chaos. It's called the most dangerous movie ever made, because something like within the first couple of years of production, there was already like 100 injuries, like really, really serious injuries. I think the guy who directed and starred in it had like almost lost his hand because one of the tigers bit through his hand. And you're basically just seeing this unfold. It's absolute chaos, and I just think it fits the safari word, and it's a chance for me to recommend this crazy, crazy, crazy film that has to be seen to be believed. It's like a nature documentary mixed with like You've Been Framed or something. That's like that mashed up. and it's called Roar, 1981. Yeah, the most dangerous movie ever made, and just as a curio, it's worth checking out. So that's the other thing.
How big is this house? Is anyone else wondering this? Because like they are called big cats because they are not small, right? It's self-explanatory. 150, like how big is this house?
I mean,
building
it's
annexes?
It's quite an amazing structure because it's been built in the middle of the jungle. But there's big cats on every single surface, every staircase, all over the floor. I mean, I cannot stress enough how many there are. It just crammed into this house with this family. It's insane.
Oh my God! Right, well, my story is about an elephant. It's not Nelly. It is right. So I've taken a screenshot of it because it's one of those like list things. So I can't. I will leave in the show notes the like link to the whole article. But basically, a bull elephant on, and I think it's pronounced mus. So it's M-U-S and then th, so mus. So that's when its testosterone levels can reach up to 60 times higher than usual levels, right? It decided to get very closely acquainted with a parked hatchback. Okay.
I think I'm in musts right now in lockdown.
So there were two people in this hatchback. So two terrified occupants of this, I love that it gives it VW Polo, found themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time as a giant elephant stooped down to rub itself against the vehicle's roof and bonnet. The incredible images. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so there's images taken, but it says after the elephant was finished with the car, it was left with 4 blown tires and a broken chassis. And apparently, elephants frequently use logs, small trees, and rocks to relieve an itch or remove parasites, but with the car so close to hand, it was a chance too good to pass up. As if like that sounds like the elephant said, well, it was too good a chance to pass up. So I'd just like to say that there is no there's no windscreen wiper in the land that could get rid of that mess. Just minding your own business, and then an elephant starts to fuck your car. Like what? That chassis's done for. That's going to need like that car. Take it out back and shoot that car. Like it's been through enough.
I just can't get over the broken chassis and the blown out tires. Like there's a chat up line somewhere in that. I don't know exactly.
Do work on that.
I'm not gonna say it. I mean, you know, even this podcast isn't ready for that. But there is a chat up line, and you can make it in your own head what it is.
Whiskey Monk wisdom.
Yeah.
There's so much in my head right now. I can't. It's.
Do you think the elephant had the creepy smile? So my dog, my dog Chase. It's so funny because he's like so sweet and lovely most of the time, but when he's full, all he wants to do is fuck you. So he'll eat his dinner and then he comes in like, now's the time. But it's only if you're wearing like he'll never go for my bare arm. It'll be like the bit of arm with cardigan on, you know, because he's got standards apparently. But he has this face. I'm gonna have to find the picture and put it in like the show notes or on Instagram or something. But he gets like this creepy smile and like side eye where he's looking at you like, just let me do it. And I'm just imagining this massive elephant with just like a little crooked smile, just looking at the Volkswagen like, yes, just let me do it. Oh,
I'm just thinking about like you're out on like, I don't know,
first
safari and you like somebody sat in the back with a kid and then all of a sudden just fucking elephant penis straight through the back windscreen.
Oh, you think it's actually going through the windscreen? I was thinking it would be more like sitting in a car wash, you know?
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah.
Just for the final, for the money shot, that's going to be like, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
you
like,
could never
the
watch Dumbo
windscreen
again.
would have popped out, right?
Sorry?
The windscreen, right? Because if the elephant puts its feet on the top of the car,
Hold on,
that
is it
back
mounting it from the
windscreen-
rear or the front? Which is it, the windscreen or is it
I
the
mean,
back?
it's. I
What's
mean,
its
It
preference?
said the bonnet, didn't it?
Okay.
oh shit. So yeah.
There you go.
Okay. So never mind. I'm thinking of it the wrong way around. I mean, it's still an elephant fucking a car, so it doesn't really matter.
Totally your sex tapes. So yeah, that's that. Oh, do you know what? Why don't I get up the random word generator and we can do the da 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 the wheel of bot. I'm gonna honestly, like, that was so long this week because Google was taking ages to load up and I needed to fill some time. But I quite enjoyed the like almost 80s synthness of my theme tune. I might put that on the list. A little bit of 80s synth. There will be a theme tune for the Wheel of Bot. Right, I'm about to do it. Are you ready?
No.
Tough shit. It's happening. It's happening. Boom. Oh, voyage.
Ooh.
The word is voyage. So, like what could you? I mean, a
That means I
voyage
get
of
to talk about
discovery.
Star Trek again.
Oh, absolutely doesn't.
Spark is
Absolutely doesn't.
make an appearance again.
Any fucking Spurk. Oh god. Yeah. All stories and facts and anything to do with Voyage are welcome, unless they're to do with fucking. No, I'm joking. Unless they're to do with Star Trek.
Just a voyage of discovery into anything. So I went on a voyage of discovery this week into how
Myself.
to dispose of a body. I mean, I already know how to do that, so
Yeah.
that wouldn't really be a voyage. I mean, it's got to be something good on it, like
Yeah.
the weird world of people
Butt
with
stuff.
strange animal dildos.
Trying to crack her face and it's not working.
But I
Animal dildos.
already know.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Sorry. Sorry. You can get. I've told Laura this before, and we don't need to go into why me and my sister were looking into this on Christmas Day. But you can get butt plugs with taxidermied animals stuck on them.
Hold on, I have a question.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're on the taxidermied animals. Like what? Like what's it? Like small animals? Like
Yeah,
big
yeah,
animals?
Yeah, like
Not a hippo.
not a hippo. And I should make it clear that the taxidermied animal is not for inserting. That's purely for decoration.
Okay, so
I
that
mean,
was
some
going to be
people
one of my
definitely don't.
questions.
Yeah, because no
So-
one. Yeah.
So when the plug is inserted, you just have a small squirrel pointing out at a strange angle from
Mhm.
your butt.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Like
I mean
yeah.
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And obviously they're taxidermied and they're on a butt plug, so they don't look at peace either.
It was like, ah!
That's very
Yes.
accurate.
Like, yeah. Oh Jesus Christ. Right. Yes. So
Could you imagine someone going to hospital with that? I didn't know which way around it was supposed to go.
you would be so fucked if you put, excuse the pun, if you somehow managed to get a butt plug in the wrong way. They are literally designed to stop the vacuum of your anus taking it in. So, and the other end is tapered for easy insertion. So if you go in the wrong way, mate, you're digesting that within minutes.
If you go in squirrel end first,
You're a
that's your
fucking idiot.
own fault.
That is fully on you.
They
Like,
come with instructions, so
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And also one would imagine that, like, you understand very quickly that one cannot lube a taxidermy animal enough. Stop lubing the animal up.
I'm just thinking about like a Disney horror film where like some squirrels like Brian, because his mate's been kidnapped by the guy that they all know is going to taxidermy and put him on box. And the whole journey is that one squirrel trying to rescue his mate Brian from being taxidermied onto a butt plug.
It fully would be Yeah, a squirrel called Brian as well. I feel like if there's any squirrel that's going to get put onto a butt plug, it'd be called Brian.
Definitely.
Brian! No! Right. And with that said, guys, okay, so we've just said that the word of the week, or next weeds? Oh,
Next
my
weeds.
head hurts. My head hurts. Yeah, next week's word is voyage. So if you've got any funny stories or things you hate about the word, drop a comment into one of our social medias. We have got Twitter now because we are so advanced. We are on YouTube, which if you're watching this you already know. Hello. We are on Instagram and the Facebook and many other platforms of which you can find podcasts, which are many, I'm sure. So yeah, drop us a little comment on one of those. As always, guys, if you hated the podcast, you don't need to tell us because we don't fucking care. Like, cannot underline that enough. We don't care. But if you loved it, that's nice of you. Drop us a little comment. Come tell us, come talk to us. And you can find us at the Marmite Queens. Laura's now going to spell it for us because
No, I'm not. No.
It's MAAMAIGHT Queens. Queens spelled the normal way. Wow. A speed spell. I'm very impressed with myself. I'm going to stop talking now because my head hurts. Right. It was lovely. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, John. It's been a
thank you.
Pleasure.
Very
Thank you
much.
for having me.
Well,
thank you for letting me be the filling in your sandwich.
Anytime, John. You may fill the sandwich anytime. And on that note, bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Marmite Queens, you dumpster fire garbage people. And now for the outro. You can't afford a theme tune! Definitely can't afford an outro!